Or the rest of the cube. I'm just going to draw the face of the cube, right? So, okay, so that's, hang on, let me focus it. Going. Yay, all right. So there's my basic cube, or my basic square. I'm going to bisect you guys, this is also why you have to be really careful. Like, all the stuff I was talking about 3 weeks about getting good drawing straight lines and all that kind of stuff, this is when that precision really pays off. Because if you're a little off, say on your diagonals or something, you'll really start getting screwed up results. Now, I'm going to ask you to do something. For all of your minor axes, I'd like you to do them in red.
You're kind of up there.
Oh. For all of your minor axes, I'd like you to do them in red. For all of your major axes, I'd like you to do them in blue. All right? Just so you can be, so we can be consistent. And then for your cubes, use two other contrasting colors. You know, let's actually, well, just use two different contrasting colors, but make your minor axis red, your major axis, I want it to be blue.
Are you want the cubes to be different colors as well?
We'll make the cubes colors that aren't red or blue. You know,
With two colors?
let's do this. Cubes equal something else. Okay?
Ellipse instead of a color?
That would be a good idea too. You'd just be consistent. But what I want to be able to do is I want to be able to glance at your cubes and see if your axes are correct. Okay? Yeah.
Are we still correcting them?
Yes.
So that's what you mean by, so like blue on the front and then red on the back.
What was that?
Blue on the front and red on the back?
No, I want the red equals the minor axis, the blue equals the major axis. Period. Yeah. Yes.
And then when we're correcting them, is it redrawing the whole thing or just like shifting the parts that you know are?
Shifting, fixing anything you think is wrong.
Okay. Oh,
Okay.
like you don't have to just redraw the whole thing, or is it?
Well, you need to redraw whatever isn't correct.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, now, all right, so you guys with me so far? This gives us the center. And I would not have you do this. I'm just doing this for your benefit, for clarity's sake, but do not do this on your homework assignment. So what I'm envisioning this. Right? And that would make my minor axis do something like this. Now this is the thing that I do not want you to do. I'm going to use a ruler so you can see it very clearly. All right, so that's my minor axis orientation, okay? Now, if I use my VPs, or my VP and a vertical here, I should say, I can locate each of these points. I know those points are on my ellipse. Okay, you guys keep your eyes up. Okay, so I know those points are on my ellipse. And then you guys take a look at this. Imagine the ellipse, you know it's going to be going like this. So do you see that doing that or doing that seems kind of obvious? You know, it has to go through this point, and it has to sweep across here and get to this point, or get to this point. So that's how I'm guesstimating the minor axis. Now, if you take a look at it, Do you see that this is not in the center? Does that make sense? It isn't in the center, it's actually, that's the center. Okay? Now I draw a perpendicular line, keep your eyes up. I'm gonna use my little tool here, and again, I would not have you do this with the ruler. I would do it freehand, which is a little more problematic, but I'm doing it this way for our clarity of our demo here. So there's the major. I'm gonna do the same thing. I know I have to be going like this here and going like this here. The lines are at that angle, or at this angle. And then I imagine sweeping out, and that's a pretty good guess. It's not perfect, but it's a good guess. Now if I go like this, that's a pretty good guess. You know, and it seems to work, because I can imagine going like this and going just a little bit farther out. Now you do want to imagine a perpendicular line at that point where it crosses the axis, because it's crossing perpendicular to the axis, and the same thing here, you want to imagine perpendicular lines. But now, so you guys, if I do this, and I do this, and I do this, and I do that, can you see the ellipse taking shape? And then I would turn it, I would ghost it. I'm watching the symmetry, I'm watching this point right here. And I want to emphasize, I make it look easier than it is. I've been doing this a long time. Next class, we'll talk about some tricks for learning how to draw ellipses. You know, it'll be really problematic because your brain's never had to do this before, so you're likely to have ellipses that start going like this.
We can't see it. Okay, we don't want to see it.
Yeah, you don't want to see it, you really don't. So you guys, did that clear up some questions?
Yeah.
Go ahead and take a couple more minutes to take whatever notes you need to take, and try to finish off your your cube with 3 ellipses, and just make sure you're understanding how to do it at different angles.